Do you guys remember when I told you I bought a new truck and I have not had a chance to show it to you guys? So today we're going to review my 2020 Ram 1500. Now this is going to be a Laramie and it is going to be white and it is going to have tan interior. Now let me clarify something really quickly. This is not a truck that I purchased. My company is affiliated with FCA and they allow us to build cars and use them for our company vehicles. And that's pretty much what this is. So I'm paying for this truck, but I'm not paying for the fuel for it. I'm not paying for the insurance or the maintenance. I'm just able to drive this truck at a reduced rate. And guys, I was so excited when they added this truck because I have never really had a good chance to drive a 1500. And now I understand why you guys love to tow these small trucks. I mean, this truck is comfortable. Like probably the best riding truck I've had ever. And this truck does not have the air suspension, and I was not able to pick out any options because if I were able to, you would not see those chrome running boards. But for the most part, they did option this truck out really nicely, and it does have really good features on it. So I'm going to take you guys around the truck. We are going to go on the road and drive it, and I just want to show you guys the window sticker, show you the features on it, and I'll show you guys the payload like I always do. As I mentioned earlier, I was not able to pick out any options on this truck, but somehow, some way, someone bumped their head and gave me an e-torque truck. Now, if you're not familiar, you have the 5.7 with e-torque, and you have the 5.7 without e-torque. You also have a eco diesel 3 liter, and last but not least, you have a regular V6 engine. One thing you have to understand about this is this configuration gives you max tow, but not so fast. My truck doesn't have max tow because it has a 321 rear axle. At the end of the video though, I will show you guys the towing numbers with the 321, which is on here. If you want max tow, e-torque and 392, the lesser trim level, will give you the highest towing capacity. Now this engine, the 5.7, is good for 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque. If you do opt to have the 5.7 without e-torque, the power numbers do not change. However, you do have a supplemental 130 pound-feet of torque available with this too. This also does have regenerative braking and it has a battery pack, I believe that's what it is, in the back behind the seat. And the stop starter on this truck is really good. I'll show that to you guys in this video today. And I obviously will do a 0 to 60 run to show you guys just how quick this truck is off the line. If you do get a Laramie, LED headlights do come standard, and I love these headlights because you get LED running lights. You also have a LED high beam. Daytime running lights, they're kind of dim. They do use the low beam for the DRLs, but I turn them off so you have like a very faint LED running light on your strips, and the turn signals are also going to be LED too, and they also give you LED fog lights. So these headlights are going to be a little bit better than the Laramie that's on the heavy duties because they give you LED low beam and high beam. However, the turn signals are all going to be incandescent bulbs on the heavy duty 2500 and 3500 Laramies. Now this truck obviously does have parking sensors below. And take a look at the chrome. I'm not a huge fan of this chrome, I'll be honest, but the way everything flows together, I gotta admit, it does not look bad. I probably would choose this now that I've seen it in person. I think the painted bumper on the lower part would look really nice, but the chrome on the grill looks really clean, and I like how the headlights have like a little bit of black accents, and I think it dresses down the chrome because you can even see here you have like black accents too, so it flows really well together and it breaks up that chrome a little bit too, especially on that lower bumper part. Now this truck does have the active grille shutters inside the grill here. You can't really see them, but they do close, you know, to help with aerodynamics, and they also give you another one on the lower bumper here. I don't know if you guys can see this flap here, but this comes down too to help with drag on the truck too. Now if you do get the air suspension, you do not get that front lowering part on the front bumper because the aerodynamics on the air suspension lowers the truck a little bit more for you, so there's no need for that. Now as you guys can see, you do have the turn signals on the mirrors, and this is riding on some 20-inch wheels wrapped in 275/55/20. And I actually do like this wheel size too. It looks good, it looks clean too, 5-spoke design, and you are going to have a independent front suspension too. Now one thing I don't really care for are these wheel-to-wheel running boards. They don't look bad, guys. As I mentioned, you have the black accents on them, so it does really flow well with the overall truck. And I don't know if you guys can see that LED light on, but you do have LED puddle lights on the bottom of the mirrors, and they work really well too. They give you a lot of light on the ground at night. And look how clean the side of the truck looks. Not too many emblems, just one up top, one below, perfectly done. I wouldn't change anything on this truck. Now, as you guys know, Ram loves their coil rear suspension. Most of the other manufacturers are using leaf springs, and this truck is really soft. There is an option to have a liner in here, and if it was me, unless you're gonna get this Rhino line, I would definitely protect this because this is gonna rust. If you have rocks hitting this paint, just go ahead and get this coated. I hope I don't say this too much, but look how clean the rear end looks too. Everything just flows really well. I like the Laramie package, and check out just the lines in that tailgate too. I mean, this is pretty much the same tailgate that my truck has on my heavy duty, but I like just the dual exhaust, how it all flows together. And the chrome actually does not look that bad on this truck, guys. I actually like it. LED tail lights, and that's going to include the turn signals and the reverse lights too, and backup cameras on that tailgate. And you do have assistance on lowering the tailgate for you too. It does not have assistance going back up, however. Spray and bed liner and LEDs for the bed and deployable bed step do come in a package. I'll show you guys the window sticker here in a second. On the roof, they do give you a shark fin styled antenna. And then take a look at the indentions in the roof here. I do like the way it looks. It does add a little bit of style, and I know it's going to help with the aerodynamics of the truck also. Here's an interior you do not see a lot on Laramie. A lot of guys just pick black. I, however, like the lighter interiors. I'm dark skinned, so I get hot quick, and I need the lightest interior with the lightest exterior to stay comfortable, and I'm going to do that. But above all else, this is the nicest interior on the Laramie. I like this way better than the black. And just check out just the overall design. Now, the reason why I also picked this interior is because I want to see how this suede material is going to hold up. You know, obviously when it's darker, you can't really tell, but we're going to see how dirty this gets, because I eat in my car because I work in it, and so it's going to get dirty. Now, before we get into the interior, I want to show you guys the window sticker. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. All right, so here's a quick look at the window sticker. Base price is $46,740. It's not a bad price for a Laramie, guys. Now, obviously, this is with four-wheel drive and a crew cab, so really good price. Bright white clear coats the paint on the exterior, and then mountain brown with light frost beige interior is the color on the inside. Now, this feature here is optional along with this 8-speed. Now, there are 3 transmissions, 2 of which have the exact same model number, but the diesel has a different tuned transmission, I'm assuming. Now, as far as standard features go, you're going to see that right here for function and safety, and then your interior is right here, and then your interior and exterior is going to continue up top here, and then you have your optional equipment. Bucket seats is an option, $895 if you would like to have those trim seats that way. You would get the 6 passenger, which gives you a bench up front. Bed utility group, I strongly recommend get this package. You have that deployable bed step. You actually have the tie downs. I did not mention this, but you do have the tie downs. It does have the LED lights inside the bed and spray and bed liner. All of that for $845. That's not a bad price. Laramie level 1 gives you everything you see here. Notable things, obviously blind spot, rain sensing wipers, and then you have that remote tailgate release. And the 5.7 with e-torque, $1695. If you're looking at the diesel, I really would consider your fuel savings. You're not going to get much, and you're going to pay about double for that engine compared to what you're paying for the e-torque. Wheel-to-wheel side step, $745. I would have skipped those. I wanted to test this truck with the 8.4, but I'm not complaining. I love the 12-inch, and I'm happy it's in my 1500 also. Now, I am surprised my company picked these wheels. I thought they would have just let it run with the standard wheels, but $1295 for these, $1695 for destination, with a total price of $57,700. And then if you're interested, this is what the fuel economy is with the e-torque. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take this truck for a ride. Whew, man. It's hot out today. It's gonna be like 96 degrees. But That sounds good. Let's take a rev real quickly. Alright guys, so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the heavy duty segment if you're watching this video, but I do have a heavy duty truck, and for 2019 they did redesign the interior and they did a refresh on the exterior. Some people call it a 4.5 gen, 5th gen. I think it's a 4.5 gen too because it still uses the same cab. Now this cab in this truck is actually redesigned for the 1500s in 2019. And this is a lot better. Like, I have more space. I have long legs, so I have a lot more space down here in this truck. And the seats are way comfortable than my truck also. I feel like they have just more back support. I'm not a wide person, but I just feel a lot more comfortable in this truck than mine. And as I mentioned to you guys about these lighter interiors, the cool seats on this mountain or frost color, it works so good. I had a chance to drive a black interior limited, and I had made a statement that the black interior is just too hot, and it's true. Driving this truck right now, I feel so comfortable. Now, I will say, it does have a telescoping steering wheel, so I can put my seat all the way back and still have enough comfort for my arms, because I have long arms, long legs, and it's just a lot easier to drive like this. And my truck doesn't have a telescoping steering wheel because it still uses the same 4th gen concept. I guess that's the best word to use for that. But let's go ahead and take it on the highway. Before we do that, I'm going to get gas. I am pretty much on E. So we're going to fill up. We're going to show you how much it's going to cost to fill this bad boy up, okay? So right now I'm at 30 miles till empty. Alright guys, so let's see how much it's going to cost to fill this bad boy up. This has have a 23-gallon tank. So let's just take a look. Alright, so I stopped at 19.536, and then this is with top off here, so 20.034 is the final. Okay, so looking at this interior, they do give you some wood trim. Now this is just plastic. If you get a Longhorn or Limited, this wood becomes real. But I do like the two-tone browns. Like, this is like the light frost, and this is of course the mountain brown. I have my trusty Yeti today also. This is a pretty big Yeti, and as you guys saw, it fits perfectly in this side door. On my truck, I cannot get this cup there. However, on the front cup holders, same story. It fits pretty perfectly. Now it's a little more snug in my opinion, so you'd have to be careful. And then out back, it's the same story also. Fits perfectly in this side cup holder. Also fits really well in the rear seat, and it fits really well in the cup holders out back also. Between the seats, the center console that they give you with storage. You have to give it to your Ram though. Check out the attention to detail on the seat controls. The only time you're going to see this is if you're just getting into your truck. But other than that, this doesn't have to look nice because you're only going to see it a couple times and then you're going to forget about it. But even just the overall design, and guys, I just love this interior. I mean, my goodness, it's easy to get in and out of too. Like, look at this flat floor surface. It's just so flat right here. So you don't have to, normally you have like a raised plastic piece here and you have to step over that and step over it to get out of the truck too. In this truck you don't have that. Really nice accent for the Ram spelt out, and just overall everything looks good. This is how you adjust that steering wheel, and nothing you haven't seen before, but just a beautiful truck. I won't go too in detail with the 12-inch and the 7-inch. I will do those on a separate video, just because I don't want to spend too much time going over that thing, over these features, because you've already seen them a lot in my videos. You do have the sweep when you do start the truck up. Push button start. I do, look how fast this, oh actually let me go to vehicle info. Look how quick this responds. Like, look at that. I mean, this is really high quality stuff. And even with the 12-inch display, like, just check how quick, you know, you can move through things. You know, you can slide this on the side here. I mean, just little things like that, and just how quickly the screen responds. This is what you want when you're looking at newer cars. You don't want those slow systems that take a long time to update. You go to this screen and then it takes time, and you go to the screen over here, it takes time. As you see, this screen is quick, and you can turn it off from here. The only thing I would like to see, this is just something that I've always been accustomed to. I'm old school. I like buttons for certain things, primarily for these things: heated seats, cooled seats. If you get the 8.4, they do give you those buttons just below, but as I mentioned, this truck was optioned with this. I didn't pick it, and I probably would have picked an 8.4 just because I would like to see a difference. I already have this 12-inch in my 3500. I would like to do something a little different, but have a ton of storage on the side, and just check out the stitching on the dash. I mean, this, everything is just so clean. I mean, even the lighting in here, all LED. And again, this is not the top of the line, so when you're looking at top of the line trucks, you would expect to see a lot of these things. Now, just below the 12-inch display, can you guys see something missing? I'll give you like a second here. Anything missing right here? Well, if you're pretty familiar with these trucks, this truck does not have a trailer brake. Now, this is an option on Ram trucks, and because this is a company car, they were smart enough not to install this on, because I was definitely going to probably buy a cargo trailer. I'm probably still going to do it. It's just going to probably take me some time. But look at the buttons you have here. Your parking sensors, front and rear, can be disabled. This one's going to be disabled when you're towing a trailer. Tow haul modes right here, and you can defeat traction control. You have a ton of storage just below your buttons that I just showed you here. You have 4 USBs, and you have an auxiliary in the middle. You have a place to put 2 phones. This truck does not have this charging station, but that is available. And then just check out how much storage you have just below. They give you a plug, 400 watts, 115 volts. And as if storage wasn't enough, they give you additional storage to put a few things. These things can come out, you can see right here, and you can wash them off. However, the cup holders do not have a removable thing, so you have to clean this with a rag. This also does come out too. I've had to take mine out of my truck, my other truck, and clean it because it got really dirty. Ram doesn't skimp out on your storage too. They do give you a decent size center console here, and it's not deep, but it does give you storage. They do give you little pockets you can put small things right there. They should make it to where something can enclose it up top, that way it doesn't fall out, but nevertheless, they learn these things over time. And of course, they do have storage just below, and you can block it off from the front. And they give you a fill line, which is pretty cool, so you can't really see that you have all the storage up here, because this is not storage. That line here pretty much limits you to what you can put here, because it slides forward and aft. One thing I like about this truck is the amount of floor space you have. I'm going to put a chair inside of here so you guys see what I'm talking about. So this is a decent sized chair, and it can fit in here pretty easily. I mean, look at how much space you have. I will do a video just showing you guys the floor surface in here. I mean, there's so much room down here. Now, you don't have any dividers. There may be an option for that, but this truck was not optioned with that. But nevertheless, you still have a ton of space. 60/40 bench out back, and these seats do recline also. Now, this seat, as I mentioned, does recline. You have to pull this lever up. I'm gonna show you guys real quickly just how much space you have back in the rear. I have this seat all the way back and some. Look how far back it is here. I don't have to have it this much back because I have a telescoping steering wheel, so I can adjust it upwards if I need to. But if I recline this rear seat, even with the seat reclined, my legs touch the front seat, but I'm not touching it where I'm like hitting. So if I were to move, you see that, like, I can still kind of move without really bumping the front passenger. But you just have so much floor surface inside this truck. And the seat does recline a little bit, but when I have a chance, I will do a video with my mega cab when I have the time. So stay tuned, be sure to subscribe, and I will do that soon, hopefully. So you also have 4 USBs in the back, another 115 volt 400 watt plug. You have AC vents back in the rear too. You can also get heated and cooled seats on a limited. So if you want those features for older kids or your buddies, you can have that. Back here you do have a sliding rear glass, and as you guys saw earlier on the video, you have 2 cup holders of storage. My kids like to put a bunch of their junk in here. All right, so we're gonna take it on the highway. Now it is the next day. I didn't have a chance to get the rest of the footage, but ultimately guys, one thing I have found on this truck is these Bridgestone dueler tires are really quiet. Now they're not aggressive tires, they're like a highway tire. So it's a good and bad thing, but when you get up to 80 miles an hour, you have a little bit of wind noise, but the tires have really no noise whatsoever. And this truck is so smooth. When you drive heavy duty trucks and you jump back down to a half ton, there's just a huge difference. Even from the 3/4 ton Rams with the air suspension, I've mentioned this in the past, they have the best ride, I would say, out of all the heavy duty trucks if you get the air in the rear. If you get air on this truck, I feel like it's a little bit more bumpier. The non-heavy duty Rams with just the regular suspension, coil springs, definitely has a great ride now. This does have independent suspension, and it does handle really well too. Now this suspension does come at a cost. This suspension is very, very soft, and if you're going to be towing a trailer, especially a trailer frequently, you're going to need to get the air suspension because it's going to do a lot of squatting, or you're going to have to add airbags aftermarket, whichever one works best. But I strongly believe that if you're going to get this truck to tow a trailer a lot, I would just get the air suspension because it's going to do all that automatically for you, and it does it on all 4 corners too. And as I mentioned, I feel like the ride is not night and day difference between the trucks. It's just a little bit more bumpier over like harsher road surfaces. Overall acceleration in this truck is really good. When you have the e-torque, it does give you that 130 pound-feet of torque supplemental, and when you hit it 60, 70, 80, I mean it's quick. It's quick for a big truck. I mean, this truck probably still weighs, you know, 5,000 pounds, and has a 321 axle. So this truck is pretty quick off the line. Now, if you're not familiar, this truck does have regenerative braking too. So when you do hit the brakes, you are putting juice into like a battery pack in the rear. And as I mentioned to you guys earlier, I'm going to show you guys 0 to 60, but I want to show you guys the stop-start feature too. So I'm going to turn around here and we'll pull over and show you guys what it looks like when you go into the stop mode. If you're not familiar with the system, it helps save fuel. And they think Ram is saying that you can save money with this system, which that's up for debate. I think in the winter time you can, but in the summertime, the only issue with the stop start is the AC still gets really warm, so you're not going to want to use the system as much, and that's just my opinion. So that, I mean, I think that once they fix that small issue, it'll be a lot easier to use this system. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so check out the RPMs. It's going to go down to 0. And then I have the AC on. Now, figure 5 seconds. Okay, so it just turned back on. The AC is slightly warm. It's not too bad. It's still pretty cold, but the truck just turned back on. So it only stayed on the stop start for like maybe what, 10 seconds? The stop start system works better in the wintertime because as the truck gets warm, you don't necessarily need the heat to be on when the truck turns off for the stop start. Now, what I do like about the enhancement with this mild hybrid system with the e-torque is when you use the stop start system, it does at a stop, when you go to start the truck again, it does it automatically. It's so much more smoother than on the previous generation. It's like on my Dodge Durango I just traded in on this truck, it had the system, but I always turned it off because every time you would go from a stop, it would jerk, or sometimes it would just turn completely off. So I do like this system a lot better. So let me show you guys what it looks like from a start. I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 when I do it too. I'm gonna turn the AC off also. All right, so you ready? Go. So it's instant. There you go. So this truck has a lot of performance in terms of acceleration. I feel like the brakes are pretty good too. If you hit them, it really does lock up really nicely too. And I would like to see like the brake force distribution a little bit, because as you saw, all my stuff went flying, and brake force distribution just kind of helps the truck to apply brakes through all four corners, so it doesn't, you know, have like that reverse rake when you hit the brake. So that's something I would probably like to see work a little bit better, because everything went flying just now. All right, so let's take a look at the towing numbers really quickly. So all you have to do is go on Ram site, go to towing capability, towing guide, and then you can pick whichever truck you want. They even have the cabin chassis also. So 2020 is the truck, and we're gonna pick on the Ram 1500. We're gonna pick crew cab. Engine we're gonna choose, obviously, is gonna be e-torque. As far as the wheelbase goes, I believe that it's the 153. And four-wheel drive, obviously. And we're gonna leave the axe ratio the same. So let's go down to Laramie, because that's the truck that I have. So if you would like to have the 321, if you're not towing, you're just towing a 5,000 pound trailer or something like that, by all means, this truck will get the job done. So you guys can see, I can't tow with this truck, at least not as much as you would expect. And when you guys see the payload number at the end, it's gonna be lower than this, obviously. But if you choose that 392, you do increase this number by a significant amount. As you guys saw, 12,700 is what max tow is for this truck. And like I said, this is just something that you have to consider if you're looking for max tow. But e-torque with the 392 axle is what you need to choose. If you are in the market for a 2020 Ram 1500, you are going to see these numbers. You have a gross axle weight rating up front at 3,900 pounds. The rear is 4,100 pounds. GVWR is 7,100 pounds. All in payload capacity is going to be 1,477 pounds. But hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I did order a car that my wife will be driving. Can anyone guess what it's going to be? We just know that it's going to be a good addition to the channel. All right, see you guys soon.